all so much for being here. We're going to start with a tune called Batucada. And Batucada is basically a percussion jam.
Today we're going to sit down with a popular musical couple whose lives revolve around making, teaching, and sharing music. Their spirit is contagious, and their sound has been described as funkalicious samba soul. Join us as we visit Humberto Sales and Madeline Holly Sales of Beleza Music. Come on!
Batucada surgiu, negro branco ficou, você branco e pegou.
We met in Salvador, Bahia, where Alberto is from, and I had moved to sort of gift myself studying music again and living close to the ocean. And I was taking classes at the Federal University of Bahia. And a mutual friend of ours, we had been talking, and I said, let's form a group and we'll do some bossa novas and some jazz and it'll be fun. And he said, awesome, I have a perfect guitarist. And the perfect guitarist he was thinking of was Berto. But he went to Berto.
Berto is very busy. That's true. Not lying.
You turned it down. Just say it.
Yeah, I said.
He turned it
Well,
down.
you know, I'm very busy right now. I'm not sure she's going to get the right accent, so I've heard before. And not her, but other artists. And I said, nah, let's just pass on
He's
that.
trying to be nice. He basically said, gringos can't sing bossa nova. I don't want to do this, and I don't want to meet her.
Don't want to do this.
Okay, but then go ahead, because this gets good.
So then we actually accidentally met through this mutual friend at a big flamenco concert in the theater. Humberto, they're both named Humberto. Humberto said, hey, Humberto, this is Madeline, the American I was telling you about that wants to form a group.
Yeah, and this Humberto, he said, oh, really? Oh, that's Madeline. Okay, great. Now I'm very,
Let's give it a
enthusiastic
shot.
about
Let's
the
give it
show.
a
And now you, okay, let's give it a shot.
Opa, neguinho na estrada, opa, pra lá e pra cá. Vixe, que coisa mais linda. Opa, neguinho começando a andar.
Let's talk about music, Humberto. When did you start playing music?
For real, perhaps I was 10. For fun, I was 6, playing with my guitars. I mean, my dad's guitars, untuning everything. It sounds fun. But it was very hard because the music that we listened to was the Brazilian musicians such as Tom Jobim, João Gilberto, Gilberto Gil, Caetano Veloso, these guys, and they did not compose things that were very easy. So I had to kind of
Can you give me an example? Can you give me an example of what's not easy?
Oh my gosh. So I'll show, for example, one song that got stuck in my head when I think we were 11 or 12. Você lembra daquele tempo eu tinha estrela nos olhos, jeito de herói, era mais forte e veloz que qualquer emoção de cowboy.
Yeah, I can't imagine why you thought that was hard.
No, it was very
11-year-old.
easy. So,
And then you went on to study at the university.
Yeah, I went to study in the university for classical guitar performance. Never stopped.
Never stopped. And Madeline, your background is in music and theater, but not as formally. Tell us a little bit about yours.
I grew up, it's interesting now, teaching a lot of children music, and I absolutely appreciate from both of my parents just growing up with music. I mean, it was one of my mother's ways of entertaining us, I guess. But I didn't really actually do formal voice lessons until I was an adult. And that really opened, it opened, I thought like, no, I can sing what I want to sing. And then I had problems and had to go back for technique, and it was great.
There was a man, he walked the mall in Queer Rebellion. The people laughed, they stared, they mocked, they said there's something wrong. His hair was wild, his voice was strong, and it was full of soul. The gospel he was preaching, child, well, he was 8 years old.
We are the same here. We are the same here, no.
You perform, you write, and you teach. What would be something that you would impart to a student that you think is just a really great tip?
So I think of singing as though it's like you're riding on breath, the way that a bird rides on wind, you know?
Right.
So if you take a good breath, now I'm singing as though I'm singing with a singing voice. It just becomes more open, rounder, and the space itself. So just two things. I mean, just taking in a good amount of breath and giving it space, and that means in your mouth and in your body and every other way.
Yeah, it's huge. And Berto, you teach too. So you teach guitar, ear training,
music
theory.
theory, music harmony. You know, something that might be a little complicated for some, and then I go, this is so much cool. Do you hear this? Look at this chord resolving to this and the other. She goes, well, yeah, you're just geeking out here right now.
It's fun. I love it. I appreciate it.
It's so much fun.
So talk about your music. You play a lot of different styles of music, but really, if you were going to describe Belize music, how would you describe it?
So a friend of ours who was a DJ at WTJU said, you know what you guys play? You guys play funkalicious samba soul, because it combines, you know, a lot of what the American sort of soul, jazzy, funky thing with samba is just referencing. We do other rhythms from Brazil too, but just it's flavor from both cultures. So I like that condensed version of it.
Yeah, and it's a great description, I think. Really nails it. So talk about the different places that you play. Where do you perform?
As Beleza, we play mostly now, it seems, in wineries around the area. And we'll do some theaters, mostly regional. We'll do theaters. We have a festival that we love in North Carolina as well. But locally, we play at the wineries and at our friend Bashir's Taverna. And Berto has a project, a Latin guitar project now with his friend Miles.
Oh, great.
Yeah, playing at the Bebedero
At the Bebedero.
restaurant. Yeah,
Right,
every
and
Tuesday.
you're basically the house band for Glass House Winery.
We love that.
I think they would claim you in a heartbeat.
How about you, baby? Give the flower water to drink. How about you, baby? Give the flower water to drink. Eu quis amar, mas tive medo. Eu quis salvar meu coração.
Name some of the different musicians that you work with or have worked with through the years. In all of your bands, you also have the band In Full, which is a cover band.
Yeah. As Beleza, we've worked a lot with Matt Wyatt on drums and Dave Brzezinski on bass. With Jeff Decker on horns. He's been gracious enough to record with us a couple of times on our albums and perform for CD releases and things. And then In Full, as you mentioned, it's sort of a corporate and wedding band that James McLaughlin is the leader of. So he's on drums, actually. Charles Owens, sax player, keyboard, and rap. Then we have Andrew Randazzo on the bass. He's from Richmond. Shivani McGee is the male vocal lead as well. And Berto gets his electric guitar on.
Get the rock on. Yeah.
So it's fun. It's a completely different personality for us, but it's fun.
How many albums do you have?
3.
3. So tell us just briefly about each one.
Each one. Number 1, recorded in Brazil, like a every day going. It was kind of hard because we were. Okay, here you go. No, in Brazil, you know, you run the clock about that. Give me 5 minutes, and an hour later, everything happens. So we went to our friend's studio, and then you have to first, you know, say hello, and that takes an hour. Talk to her mom.
Have the snack that she prepared.
Have a snack,
for you,
a little juice, break for this, break for that.
That's my kind of recording.
Yeah.
I like that.
Except for that we were only there. We had just moved to the U.S. and we were only there for a certain number of days. So we didn't have all that.
We
time.
had to do it, like.
Ironically, the name of that album is Time to Dream.
I love that. Yeah. Okay,
and then the second is sort of an EP that has more original music of ours on it. That was a wonderful Kickstarter project, actually. We weren't going to do a Kickstarter, but we ended up, we just bought this house, actually, and the HVAC went out right before my sister's wedding, and we were having all these family, and I was like, yay! Now we'll be spending that money that we had for the album on a whole new HVAC, and graciously, wonderfully, we were, had friends and supporters support that album. So that was fun. We did that. We recorded that in the sound studio here in Charlottesville.
Yeah, the album's called Cooking with Flavor.
Cooking with Flavor.
There's flavor again.
Gotta have flavor.
Again. Then you also have your latest project is, I don't want to say a children's album, it's a family album.
So it's called Just for Fun, and it was sort of sparked by both the influence and joy, really, that we have having a lot of kids in our studios. So the idea started like, let's do real music, fun. The lyrics have to be either just fun or uplifting in some way. And so hence was born this project, Just for Fun.
Just for fun.
I know a girl in Charlottesville, Liza Jane. Ride her bike up and down the hill, Liza Jane.
I know people probably ask you this all the time. You live together and you work together. How does that work out? I mean, is that difficult?
It works well. Yeah, I think we're lucky that we get along so well, that we really have a lot of the same interests and have fun
same
together.
taste?
Yeah, you know.
Ah,
She tries to copy me.
this happens often. I
Yes.
put on red, he's got red. I put on purple, he's got purple. I put on green, he has green. I do dress first.
Well,
I'm just
yeah,
saying.
she always dresses
So
first.
you're
so
totally in sync.
it's
You're
unfair
totally
here.
in sync. So you clearly love music. Your whole world is about it. So do you have a philosophy behind that?
Music is really the way I want to express myself in the world, and I think that my passion for it is related to the fact that it feels like it really is the best way to express the range of human emotion, from just the deepest sorrow to elation and joy, and I like having that language.
What about you?
Music was calling me since when I was a little kid, and because I had daydreams that I was playing on the stage. And by the way, there was a woman beside me. Interesting. Yeah. But anyway, and then when I saw myself in this dream, I was always smiling and happy. And then for me, it translates into happiness. And I guess it's the vehicle for me to translate my happiness to the world. And then you have to love it, you know. And then I definitely love it. And
There's no doubt that you all love it, and it's contagious. Your energy is really contagious. Thank you so much for sharing it
Yeah.
with us.
Thank
and for
you.
hanging out with us today before your gig.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Da, da, da,